Hey guys, what's going on? I know I'm a little early, but I'm sitting here just waiting and just got through my notes and everything. And I thought, well, you know what? We'll go ahead and just go live. Oh, hold on. I got to mute. I got to mute the YouTube. Hold on one minute. Let's exit out there. All right, we should be good now. Yeah. So anyway, it's been pretty smooth this morning. Got up, got on a plane at 9:30 Chicago time. We got here about noon. Took a train. I had actually spoken with uh, Lido Tito. You probably see him on here a lot. What's going on, Nick? And because he had just recently been to Alaska with Fireball Steve and Usnavi and everybody, and so I was just wanting to get some tips from him. And he said, "Well, if we'd have stayed downtown, we'd have taken the train because he said it's like a $60 Uber ride downtown, and it was a pretty lengthy train ride, but it was a really smooth, nice train. It's only $3 one way." So Anita and I, for $6, we just sat on the train, took it all the way downtown. We had to walk a couple blocks to our hotel, but no big deal. And that was that. Easy peasy. What's going on, Will? And Nick, I think I said hi to you, Nick. And so, yeah, the plan is tomorrow. We already got an email. I'll tell you what, I'm three for my last three and delayed boarding. When I went with Anita on the celebration the first time, there was a computer glitch or something. And so we were about 90 minutes or so delayed from boarding our normal time. And then obviously, much very late on the last one, about 10, 11 hours, something like that, that we got delayed from boarding on the celebration. And it wasn't their fault, obviously. They had no control over it. But all the same, it was about, a 10-hour wait. And then now we just got an email earlier today saying that delay your arrival time to the port. So if you're scheduled to get on at 10:30, don't show up till 11:30. So hopefully it's only an hour delay and everything will go smooth from there. And we got Jay here, and Jay was just on that same celebration cruise that I was talking about with his wife Sherry. We had a great dinner at Rudy's, and they got me a shirt, and I was wearing that shirt just yesterday. It was super comfortable race car shirt. We got Chris Cake, what's going on here, and yeah, I think I'm all caught up. Oh, Tony G just popped on. What's going on, Tony? Good to see you guys. So yeah, that's the plan. Excited about Alaska. Haven't been to the Seattle area either. On Sherry, all right, we got both of you here. That's awesome. Haven't been to the Seattle area in a long time. As a matter of fact, it might have been the last time we did an Alaska cruise, which was close to 20 years ago. So I really enjoyed walking around Pike's Place. So many little shops and craft stores and just all this fresh seafood and everything. We just had some of the best clam chowder I've ever eaten, and then also some seafood bisque, and then we had a lobster roll. And well, this isn't Seattle based, but I'm enjoying some Pacifico here while I do the show for everybody. Oh, and by the way, if some of you are tuning in, like, where's Bruce from Ocean to Ocean? He is on his way. He got stuck in traffic, and I'll tell you, I thought he was closer than this. I didn't realize it was going to take him a while to get here. So I kind of feel bad. I told him on the phone, I was like, man, if I'd have known you live that far away, I told you forget about it. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, Tim, you might be right. As a matter of fact, let me put that on the screen because I'm three for my last three and be delayed boarding. So I know a lot of people ask when my next cruises are. So if you need a late arrival time, then book with me. But if you want to get on right away, it's probably going to be delayed 3 for 3. So I'm already delayed an hour tomorrow. But the good thing is I think we don't have to check out until noon. So I mean, it's no big deal, and we're in a pretty nice hotel here too. So pretty happy with that. And we got Eric from North Shore Travelers checking in. how's everybody else doing? Does anybody have any questions about anything that I did on the celebration? Or I just released, by the way, I just released it. That was one of the last things I did before I went live. I got approval from corporate. Some of you know, I know Jay and Sherry does, and Kevin Texas here, and we were just messaging each other earlier today too. Um, I know that. What was I going to say? I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Well, anyway, oh, Jay and Sherry, yeah. I know they know about the lunch interview I had with Lee, but I couldn't make it public. There are certain things, when as you might expect, if somebody works for a company and they're talking freely or whatever, there might be a couple things they say that the company's like, I don't know if we want to share that information or whatever. So in order for me to get permission to speak with Lee and stuff, it's not just him accepting, but he also, in order to avoid him getting in trouble and me losing privileges and things like that from getting to talk to a Lee or a Cookie or Neil coming up here now on the Luminosa, basically have to run questions by them and make sure like we're not giving away any information that we're not supposed to be giving away. So there was a little bit I had to edit out, and that's why I was a little bit of a delay getting it out. But all the same, it's almost all there, and I really enjoyed that conversation with Lee. It's just part one of three, so those of you that are like the cruise directors and stuff, you're gonna get a kick out of that one, I'm pretty sure. Okay, we got Controversial Cruising is here. We got Blessed Nettie here. We got Rick here. All right, what's going on, everybody? It's good to see so many people checking in. We're already up to 24. And hey, I don't know if anybody wants to do it, but I did bring my book. I know normally when I go on a cruise, I just wing it or whatever. But here's the thing, and I don't have shots, but I've got about 4 more of these in my bag on ice, so I can take like a big drink or something if anybody wants to do super chats. And she capped off the last one, and she is numbers 1 through 7 on the next one. So I have it right here. And speaking of Sherry, she says, I love Lee's accent. Where are you driving when you guys? Oh, we were going to Chicharron. It's this plaza called La Placita in San Juan. So if you go to San Juan, any of you that are going to San Juan, look, my sister's here, Wendy Stuffin. That's my sister, for those of you that don't know. What's going on, Wendy? Oh, Wendy gets to see me for a full hour tonight. She's usually so busy she can't. So yeah. So yeah, getting back to the San Juan. So if you get off in the San Juan terminal and you say, hey, I want to go to La Placita, Chicharron is a restaurant in that place, and that's where Lee and I, had lunch. And if you watch the thing, you're going to see how much Lee loved that lunch. So for those of you that have been to San Juan a bunch of times and you just want to grab some lunch, based on Lee's recommendation, how he reacted to the food he was eating, and I can say I know the family that owns that place, so yeah, I can say it's phenomenal food too. And Tim, look at that there. Tim's starting us off in Seattle. We're going to put him down here. Tim G. So that makes you 8 through 17, my friend. So we got Sherry 1 through 7 and Tim 8 through 17. And if there's anybody new to the program, Katina, what's going on, Katina? Over here in Maine. All right. Well, you're way the other side of where I'm at, aren't you? We're coast to coast. And Bruce, when he gets here, we're going to be going ocean to ocean. So I guess we're kind of doing that with you being in Maine. Tim, thanks again for that. And Michael is here as well. So yeah, getting back to that conversation with Lee, I mean, he talks about everything. He talks about his, respect of John Heald, for example. That's one discussion we had. Oh my goodness, Sherry, thank you so much. Look at that. And I already owe you a drink, Tim. So let me get Tim. And I'm going to finish this can here in just a second. So that makes 18 through 67. 18 through 67. That is awesome. So we are already only 33 away from that next shirt giveaway. And again, thank you so much for that, Sherry. And you see in Sherry's picture there, Jay. So Jay, Sherry, myself, James, who went with me, and their friends Richard and Debbie. We all had a nice dinner at Rudy's when we were on the celebration last week, and just got a lot of good time to talk and hang out. So super appreciate that, Sherry. And yeah, so getting back to the conversation with Lee. Oh, Jay Mill. Well, my next cruise is actually tomorrow on the Carnival Luminosa. So how's that for right away? And we got, I'm guessing it's Blaine, but I could be Mallory. We got Rayleigh Creative Travel here. So what's going on? Nice to see you all here. And yeah, so the conversation with Lee, I keep bouncing off the subject here. And and I tell you what, it's easy to do when you all are being so awesome and generous here. And look at this. We got 68, and that's going to be 68 through 87, Frankie. Appreciate it. And Jamie and Tex, they just got married. They're both on the feed here tonight. So it's great to see you all both. But Frankie, appreciate that again. And you know what? I owe Sherry and I owe I owe you now, Frankie. And look at that. We got Rick jumping in here. Man, I tell you, I need to come to Seattle more often. Okay. So there's Sherry. I owe Frank, Frankie. Wow, and Eric, I'll tell you what, we're gonna knock out this shirt right now. I think. Let's see, Rick. Rick, we got 88 through 92. 88, 89, 90, yeah, 88 through 92. And look at that. Eric from North Shore Travelers, he gets us over the top here. He's going to be 93 through 100 and 1 and 2. How about that? So, Eric, and then let's do this shirt right now. So, Eric's going to be 1 and 2 for the next shirt drawing, but he's 93. So, let me go through this. Sherry's got a whole bunch of them. So, Sherry's going to be the tough one to beat here, but Sherry is numbers 1 through 7. Then we have Tim. Tim is 8 through 17. And we have Sherry again, 18 through 67. And we have Frankie Floyd, 68 through 87. We have Rick, 88 through 92. And then we have Eric, 93 through 100. So Bruce is, hey, everybody, is sorry I'm late. I'm driving. Listening will be there shortly. Okay, cool. All right. So look, all you see here is that the Cubs and Brewers are about to start. 5-10. I'm going to ask Siri for a random number 1 through 100. If it lands on whatever number I just said that it associated with the people, that's how you win the shirt. All right. So Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100. Wow. Does everybody see that? I don't know if you can see it. There's glare. It is just the little number 2. I think that's the lowest. Hopefully you can see that. It's glaring on my. I'm trying to turn the camera. I'm not obviously in my studio, but it is 2. Hopefully you can see that. And that is Sherry. So Sherry had numbers 1 through 7. So Sherry wins. So Sherry, you're. I know Sherry's collecting a few of the shirts now, so you're going to be able to get the whole family taken care of, Sherry. So just message me and let me know what you want, and we will get that sent off to you as soon as I get back from Alaska. All right. So there's some other stuff with Lee that I wanted to talk about since I brought that up. I just released that episode, and anyway, he talks about his plans with his girlfriends. I mean, not his girlfriends. Oh my God, I'm going to get Lee in trouble. Geraldine's going to watch this. She's going to say, "Girlfriends? What are you talking about?" No, girlfriend Geraldine. And they have some pretty big plans, and he goes pretty in depth into that discussion. And that there's one. I don't want to give it away. I want you to watch it, and but basically referencing a possible replacement for John Heald. Oh, I just gave it away, so might as well say it now. But I think Lee is like the perfect type of face for when John Heald ever does decide to retire. Like I feel like Lee would be the perfect type of person to fill that spot. And so I discussed that with him, and I got his thoughts on that. And I believe that's in the first part of the discussion with Lee. So yeah, it's an interesting episode. So I hope you like it and you enjoy the discussion. And it was so cool. It's so cool to hang out with somebody, and normally I do an interview, and the questions are right there and exactly what you're going to ask. This was more just like going to lunch with somebody and having a normal discussion. And so yeah, it was really cool. While we're on the topic of the celebration, had a great cruise. That's another thing we talked about with Lee is those XL class ships are so big that you can't experience the whole thing in one cruise. You really can't. You can go on to one cruise and you can say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see this. I'm going to eat here. I'm going to eat there. And you might accomplish all of those things, but there's going to be other stuff that you don't do. And you're going to say, like, oh, I wish I'd have gone here. I wish I'd have gone there. For example, I did go to Emerald's one night because for some reason my stomach was unsettled almost that whole week, and I wasn't eating a lot, and I wanted something small, so I went there for like rice and beans. But Lee had told me this bananas Foster is like to die for at Emerald's, and I had intended to get that, and I forgot to do it. You just are so busy. Oh my goodness, we got Travis here also, and I don't know if you all remember Travis was on an episode. Him and his girlfriend stayed on the Carnival Horizon for 9 weeks. And so they basically lived on a cruise ship. So we had a nice discussion with them a couple months back. And Travis and his fiance, are you all married yet, or is it still fiance? I don't know. Put that in the comments. I think your fiance. I don't know if you were married yet. I don't know, but I apologize. I should probably know that. But they were just in Barcelona and traveling the world and everything. I tell you what, that's a couple that, okay, you're indeed married, right? Not still engaged. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. And when did that happen recently, or you were already married when we did the interview? But I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that couple, they've been traveling the world, at a young age, and just literally the world. I mean, not just staying on a cruise ship for 9 weeks, but they're going to Europe and all kinds of things. And I mean, they're living the life, I'll tell you. So yeah, real cool. The Most Magnificent Circus. So that's been a much talked about show, and it was very hyped actually after the interview before we traveled to Europe. Okay. Yeah, and we'll have to do another show, Travis, and get the updates, how much, and talk about that trip, you all, because they did like a bucket list trip, and it was really, really cool. So I saw some of their pictures and stuff, so I want to hear about that. So the Most Magnificent Circus, that's one of the big headline shows, so much so that they have 5 showings of it on the Carnival celebration. Now, I'll tell you this. After coming off the Carnival Mardi Gras, the Mardi Gras has a couple shows that, well, actually 3 that I would say are in the ballpark of, the Most Magnificent Circus. They have Love in Vegas, they have Voodoo Moon, and then when they have We Are One. Now the celebration also has We Are One, but they don't have a second big show. So like, let's say Love in Vegas, they don't have like a Voodoo Moon type of show to go along with it. They both have celestial strings. I would say, this is just me personally, I preferred the Love in Vegas show out of the 3, between Love in Vegas, the Most Magnificent Circus, and Voodoo Moon. I would probably put Love in Vegas first, the Most Magnificent Circus second, and Voodoo Moon third, or maybe we are one third. And Celestial Strings, I mean, they don't have the aerial acrobats, but Celestial Strings is just such an awesome show. It would be neck and neck with Love in Vegas, but ahead of the Most Magnificent Circus. Maybe it's because the Most Magnificent Circus was hyped up so much, is why I expected so much more, like that it just automatically had to be my new favorite show. It was very good. It was, it was magnificent, I guess you could say. But yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I just had it on such a high, yeah, ideal of what it was going to be, that maybe it didn't quite meet those expectations. But the expectations were so high, it was going to be hard to get there. Bless and Eddie, I can't wait to give you some Alaskan footage. Super excited about this cruise, and just seeing just all the nature and beauty and everything. The who knows if we'll even have glaciers 20 years from now. The way the world's going and melting away and everything. So to get out and enjoy this nature while it's there, you got to take advantage of it. So what else about the celebration? Food, like I said, I didn't eat a lot this cruise, so I can't tell you much on the food. I will say that we had that really good meal at Rudy's that I enjoyed quite a bit. I ate at the steakhouse too, but I think that was the start of my stomach being unsettled, so it wasn't quite as good as it normally is. Excursions, let's see, St. Martin, it was a little bit overcast, but I did this catamaran excursion. I'm just about done editing that right now. Um, Part of the group I was with, there's this one part where we're in the water, and they're throwing beers to you. Well, anyway, somebody that was in the group that I was traveling with, they were chucking beers into the water. And they were throwing them pretty hard, but I was just catching them, psh, 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 like no problem, like catching a football one-handed or something. So I wanted to show off that little clip, and I'm waiting for that clip to be sent so I could add that in. But pretty much everything else is edited. So, but the Lee interview will hold everybody over, I think, until I get that one out. But hopefully, I can get that one out tomorrow. And so, yeah, the St. Martin, and that was day 5, and then day 6 was a sea day, and then day 7 was a sea day, and day 7. Speaking of Lee, I shadowed him all the first half of the day on the last sea day, and I got a lot of really good footage with that, and that's going to take me a while to edit as well. So all in all, I mean, that cruise, especially for me, and getting a lot of footage and everything, was really good. So I was pretty happy with that. Amber Cove, that video is already out. We went to like an all-inclusive beach, and that was pretty fun. So let's talk some Alaska, because that's what we're here for. And by the way, my show today is only going to go till 5:45, because what we're going to do here after this is we're going to jump over to Bruce's show on Ocean to Ocean. Cruising Scene, what's going on? I see you just hopped on. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, so, and Controversial Cruising says, hey, coach, my best friend's working on the Luminosa. He's a bartender in the lobby. His name is Savio. Tell him Scott sent you. He'll take great care of you. All right, Scott. You know what? I'm going to write that down. Scott Savio lobby. I'm going to write that down. That way I don't forget. All right. Yeah, thanks for that. I will definitely say hi to him. And we're going to do the bar crawl. And oh, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because I forgot to mention the bar crawl and the celebration. So we did a bar crawl, June 12th, and then now we did one June 26th. And Jay and Sherry, they were on that bar crawl with us, so they could tell you. But it was so much fun. We just had a great group. They just were so lively, and everybody was just having a great time, laughing, joking, getting a little loud, but not too loud. We didn't have security coming after us or anything, so I guess we were controlled enough. but it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun, that bar crawl. And we got another bar crawl planned for Alaska. This one's going to be a lot smaller, I would say less than half the size, but it's a much smaller ship. And then, you know, it's Alaska, I don't think caters to the bar crawl the way a Caribbean cruise does. I mean, you're not going on an Alaskan cruise to party as much as you are to just enjoy the nature and the beauty and everything. Jimmy says, our group was stuck on a celebration. You were waiting in Miami to get on. What a mess. I agree with you on the Celestial Strings. It was awesome. Yeah, Celestial Strings for sure. That's probably my favorite show of all time. But these newer shows, like I said, Love in Vegas and Mardi Gras, big fan of that one. And yeah, so they are coming out with some really good shows. Saw Color My World also on the celebration. I know I said I was going to talk about Alaska, and then here I go back to the celebration again. That was a really good show. I got some good footage on that. I released that video a while back, and I have some more clips up from seeing it a second time. Went and saw Guess That Groove. That's a newer show that they have. I hadn't seen that before. That's kind of fun. It's kind of like the old school Name That Tune. And yeah, it was good. It was a good cruise. So Luminosa, it's a smaller ship. I've gotten mixed reviews from people that they've said, some people like the ship, some people aren't that crazy. But honestly, I don't think it's going to bother me a whole heck of a lot, because I think everybody's mostly there for Alaska. So as long as the ship gets us to Alaska, and we can sleep okay in our rooms, I think most people are gonna be okay with that. So the ports that we're going to are Juneau, and that Tracy Arm Ford isn't a port, but you can do an excursion there. And that is, the excursion you can do is, if you get off there, you can get into a smaller boat and get taken up right up against the glacier, or real close to the glacier, and just see everything really close up. So that'll be cool. But I don't have that excursion because it's sold out. So, maybe it's an expensive one, but maybe if a couple spots open up, we'll end up signing up for that. Now, there's also Skagway and Ketchikan, and then you finish in Victoria. Now, Juneau, Anita and I have a whale expedition booked. And then, like I said, Tracy Arm Ford, we don't have anything booked for that. But maybe if a couple spots open up, we'll book that. Skagway, we're on another expedition type wildlife thing on a boat. And Ketchikan, we're thinking about doing some hiking. So that's what we have planned as far as excursions goes. As far as personal contact with anybody on the ship, I'm already lined up to do some interviews with Neil, or a interview at least. And I want to do some shadowing of him the way I've done with Lee and Cookie. So for those of you, that like that type of stuff, you can look out for that. Of course, I'll do the daily vlogs, and the excursions, we'll definitely take you with us on them. See, I'm going to have a little sip of beer. So give me just a minute. If anybody has any more questions, throw them in the comments there. By the way, while we're waiting for Bruce, let me show you, because I know not all of you have seen, but these are I call them my Alaska themed t-shirts. This is one I'm got for Bruce here, but you see they're grayish, but then they got like the blue ice of the the icebergs or whatever. So that's what I'm giving out for the bar crawlers on this cruise. But if you like that style, because I know mostly we have those Caribbean colored shirts, and most people love those shirts. But if you like a little bit more, I guess, laid back style, that's one that is available, and I have those too. So if you'd like one, let me know, and we can get one sent out. All right. How many of you in the comments here, if you've been to Alaska, or you want to go to Alaska, or you have an Alaskan cruise coming up, any of those, like, comments, or both, or either, or none, or whatever, or whether you don't like Alaska, because there's some people that don't want to go to Alaska because they think it's going to be too cold. So, how many people have been to Alaska, first off, and what do you think of it if you did go? How many people want to go, and what have you heard that makes you want to go? And then, how many of you out there don't want to go because you don't think you'd like it, or you think it'll be too cold or something like that? So, why don't everybody throw that in the comments now? And I'm just curious what everybody's thoughts are there. All right, Travis has started us off. He says he's been to Alaska on Princess Cruise when he was a teenager. It was beautiful. There he is. Look at this.
Oh my goodness.
He got ocean to ocean himself.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I am late. It's been crazy.
All right. So this is, for anybody that doesn't know Bruce, this is Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel. And yeah, so I just asked everybody who's been to Alaska, and I know Bruce has been because I was watching some of his videos. And let's see. So Travis started us off. He said it was beautiful. And Controversial Cruising says going to Alaska on the Luminosa to see my buddy late August. All right. And so I got to say hi to Savio. Jimmy's never been, considering it in the future. All right. Tim sure won't go after seeing Lido, Tito, and Usnavi. Yeah, Tim, you know what, though? Tell Cheryl, because I just talked with Lido, Tito about this yesterday. They went early in the season. You need to go, like right now, Anita looked up some of the upcoming temperatures that are going to be the forecast for us. We've got a couple temperatures that are supposed to be in the 80s. And I know in Juneau on Saturday, I think it's supposed to be 72 and sunny. So, yeah, they went early in the season and they were wearing coats and everything. He told me all about it. So you just got to book your Alaskan cruise later in the summer.
Yeah, we actually went in August.
Yeah.
First part of August. And we couldn't have asked for better weather.
Right. So that would be the recommendation I would have there. Will says, want to go on an Alaskan cruise one of these days. Wendy, same thing. Wendy's my sister.
Hey, Wendy.
Cruising Scene. Are the t-shirts 100% cotton? No. Cruising Scene, I don't like to get 100% cotton shirts because they shrink so easily. I don't really like to feel them. I always try to get a blend. So usually the shirts that I get are like a 50-50 blend because they feel a little bit softer and they don't shrink as much. So yeah, they're a 50-50 blend. So that's that answers that question. Sherry says, I have lots of fun, so you can tell me all about it because you'll never go. I moved from Colorado to Florida for a reason. But Sherry, yeah, that's what we were just talking about. If you go late enough in the season, and as a matter of fact, Lee, in the interview, I mean, it might be part 2 or part 3, but Lee actually and I were discussing that because he asked me when my next cruise was. So that's how Alaska came up. And he showed me some video of him hiking in Alaska in a t-shirt. So if it's cold, I mean, if it's warm enough that you can wear a t-shirt in Alaska, then it shouldn't be too cold to keep you from going. Will says, hey, Bruce. Controversial Cruising says, hey, Bruce. We got text saying here, went years back, flew into Anchorage, stayed in a hostel outside town in June. It was a great time. Loved it. A lot of mosquitoes when I went hiking in the woods. Yeah. You know what? I didn't think about that. I hope we have some bug spray packed, but we might have forgot. We might have to get some. Charlene says, I'm planning on taking my parents to Alaska on a cruise. Very cool. We got Eric from North Shore Travelers. Has considered Alaska, but being from Minnesota, I don't want to travel to more cold weather. And again, we've said it, and I know Bruce is going to agree with me. It's not that cold if you go late in the summer.
It's not. And, when we were planning it, because us being in Washington, especially the Western Washington, we didn't know if we were going to enjoy it or not because we kind of see the same weather. But I'm going to tell you what, if you go later in the season, like July, August timeframe. Oh, thank you, sir. July, August timeframe. It's not, the weather is not that bad. Most of it, and you just have to remember to dress in layers because it's going to be warm. It's going to be a little bit cooler, and that's what we did. But I always was in a t-shirt part of the day. We'd wear a vest or whatever. I'm telling you, you need to go there to see the nature, the views, it's incredible. See the glaciers.
Yeah.
One of our favorite things to do was Mendenhall Glacier in Juneau. The pictures don't do it justice. Let me tell you.
That's 100% true. That statement there. Pictures don't do Alaska justice, because you just honestly, I mean, I've seen so many beautiful sights. I've been blessed to go to Hawaii multiple times, and there's a horseshoe canyon out there that's just breathtaking, and the Nepali coast is just unbelievable and everything. But Alaska, there's just some images that I forget about everything, but there are some images that won't leave my head from Alaska. And that was from 19 years ago. So it's absolutely beautiful. So Tony says his first Alaska cruise will be next month on the Celebrity.
Awesome.
And Charlene is planning to go in 2025. Blessed Nettie wants to go, says they'll get there. It looks so beautiful. Yep. Travis, yeah, we're wearing just light windbreakers and t-shirts. Yep. Okay. So Travis is backing us on the warmer weather when we went, and it was all during the summer. Will's been to Fairbanks and Anchorage for work, both during the summer. Danny D, the spectacular supporter. Hey, what's going on? Came from Bruce's channel. All right. Well, we will be going live with Bruce in 12 minutes. We're going to be going live on his channel. So once we wrap up here, we'll be doing that. Shane says, and welcome, Shane, sailing the Spirit in only 412 days, August 2024. What are my chances of seeing whales? Well, good question. And Emily Camp, the naturalist that's on Luminosa now, I had her on our show about a month or so ago. And she said they're seeing whales right from the side of the ship. They do encourage you to bring, she says, was it 10 by 50 or 12 by 50 binoculars, so you can, get a good view. But she's out there on the side of the boat looking for whales and nature. And she goes on the intercom a lot and will say, hey, if anybody looks out to this side of the boat, whatever, we have spotted a pack of whales or something like that. And she'll give you that information.
Those naturalists, I know the one that we did, which was on the Spirit, they're fabulous. They give seminars. They tell you about the area you're going to. They do so much research, and then they're up with the captain, and they are constantly having these high-powered binoculars checking, and they let you know when there's whales coming up. Always make sure you bring a binocular. The good thing about it is if you do forget them, they do sell them anyways on the Spirit. They sold binoculars on the ship, and they really were not that expensive. So, but you need to have those binoculars.
And Blessed Nettie, yeah, they're more pricey than what you would usually find in the Caribbean. Why that is, I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, I'll tell you what, the whale watching excursion that Anita and I are doing, that costs about $375 for the two of us. That's just one excursion. And, we're going on a boat with I don't know how many people, and just, I guess, cruising around looking for whales. I don't know if it's much more than that, but if you see those whales close up, though, it's worth every penny, right? So, yeah. And Tony G says, thanks for reminding about the binoculars. And thank you, Sherry. Safe travels. Have a wonderful time. I'm sure we will. And and good night, Sherry, if you're stepping out. And just a reminder again, because we are getting close here. We got less than 10 minutes. So another thing that you can see and do, and I know Andrew from Funnelheads did this, but it's super pricey. We're talking about $500 a person pricey. You can actually take a helicopter tour and land on top of the glacier and then hike on top of the glacier and actually drink water from the glacier. If you got the big bucks and you can drop $500 or $600 a person, it is a bucket list type experience. But that's an example of an excursion that you could do. But then there's also, I was researching this because I got another buddy coming on with me the week after Anita gets off, because I'll be on there 2 weeks. and he doesn't have any excursions booked yet. So, I don't know. Maybe we're going to be looking to hike a lot of trails and things like that. And that's something that you're still going to get some great enjoyment out of that costs little to nothing, depending upon where you go hiking. And you're just going to see some amazing things. Like, I know the first time I went to Alaska on our honeymoon with Anita, there was this couple, and I always tell this story. And, I don't think the story does it justice, but, we're about 100 feet away from this people walking in this national park in Sitka, Alaska. And they wave at us, like wave us over. And I'm like, looking behind me, like, who are you? I'm like, us? And they're like, yeah, come over. So we get within about 10 feet of them, and they start, motioning like this to be quiet. And they say, come back. So we walk back with them about 10 feet on this little side trail, and they point up at a tree, and at a branch that was maybe 3 feet above our heads, there's this fully mature bald eagle. I mean, just looking as majestic as ever, just sitting there chilling on a branch, just like looking this way and that. And I mean, it was like one of the coolest things to see it in its natural habitat that close up. And he sat there for a good 5-10 minutes and finally swooped down. I know I've told this story before when I've talked about Alaska, but for those of you that haven't heard it, you get to hear it again. But yeah, it's just things like that you see there. And then being alongside the glacier. Bruce said this earlier, but it's 100% true. Pictures do not do justice to those glaciers. Like, every time I see a picture of a glacier, and I'm like, no, they're much bigger than this. It looks way better than this. Like, this is a bad picture or something. But when you're up alongside of them, I mean, they look like that wall of ice in Game of Thrones. I mean, it looks like something like that, honestly. It looks that cool. But I'm going to let Bruce talk some here so I can drink some more of this beer.
Absolutely. So Alaska, there's nothing. We love the Caribbean, and we always look doing the Caribbean because we're kind of in cooler climate here in Washington. But going to Alaska, seeing the sceneries, going to Juneau. What are the ports that you're going to?
We have Juneau. We're doing the Tracy Arm Ford. I know it's not a port, but yeah, Skagway, Ketchikan, and Victoria.
Okay, so you're doing the exact same ports that we did.
Okay.
And one of our favorite, besides Mendenhall Glacier, was going up to the Tracy Arm Fjord is fabulous. You see these huge pieces of ice as you're going up to the glacier. And there's an excursion. The ship in the Tracy Arm Fjord, we did not get all the way up to the glacier. We had to stop at one point because there's a small little island in the middle of it. But you can do an excursion where you get on a smaller ship and they take you right glacier, which is fabulous. The next time we go up, we are definitely going to do that excursion. And then going to Skagway was really nice too. We did a city tour and learned a bunch about the totems and stuff that they have up there. Fabulous. It was awesome. And then the what's your second port you said?
I'm not sure the order. I think our second port is Ketchikan. I'm not sure. I think Skagway might be after Ketchikan, but I know Juneau's the first one.
You had the Skagway, Ketchikan. Okay, so there's one that we did, which was Icy Straits. Are you doing Icy Straits?
I don't think so.
No. If you go on an excursion or on an itinerary that has Icy Straits, that it's really fantastic. They have these gondolas that take you up the side of the mountain, just like Juneau does. And at the top, they've created a really, really nice area up there. You can go on a bear excursion up there if you want. And they have these zip line. And if you are an adrenaline junkie, you like stuff like that, you're pretty high up, and they go about 60 miles an hour when you're going down the thing that I couldn't do it. I have a height thing, but a lot of people were really enjoying that too. So
And hey, everybody, I just want, before we run out of time, because Bruce is getting his computer fired up here, because at 5:45 we're going live on his channel, and that's like 5:43 right now. So if you still have questions on Alaska, you want to ask about anything, pop on over to Ocean Travel, and you just go on YouTube and you type in an ocean, the number 2, and then ocean again, right?
Yep.
Travel.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, so he's already got the link set up for the live to go. So yeah, we'll be going live. It's like I said, we got just a couple minutes here. So I don't know if there's any last questions you might have for me. I'll try to go live for sure a couple times while I'm on the Luminosa, but I know the Wi-Fi is a little suspect, just from having done an interview with Emily, the naturalist there before. She couldn't see or hear us, but all she could see was the comments and things, which for me, that might work out okay, so long as you can see me. Travis, thank you for that. And thank you, everybody, for all the questions and the super chats, all that good stuff. I was glad that we were able to get out another shirt. Congratulations to Sherry for winning that. And yeah, I'm going to have a lot of Alaska content for you. And again, I'm going to try to go live a few times, and hopefully it works out. I'm glad that the live held up here, because I've been looking at, the Wi-Fi bar has the 3 little lines, instead of the 4 or 5 bars. And it was showing just one little line for most of the live, but it held up, and we didn't get a spinning circle. So hopefully it holds up for Bruce's show. And we are under a minute till we kick over to his side. So I'm going to let you all go. Again, thanks so much, everybody, for joining. And if you want to jump over to his site, we're going to be starting in just about a minute. All right, we'll see y'all later.